Mario never gets a break. He goes from level to level, from world to world, only to have the princess be kidnapped again within a week. So obviously, since Mario goes on so many adventures, he has beaten countless levels by now, and that raises the question: which levels are the best? That's what this list is for, my top 5 Mario levels. Throwback Galaxy. Mario Galaxy 2. This may be a little controversial to start with. Nintendo took a level from Mario 64 and made it into a level for Mario Galaxy 2. While you could see this as a lazy move, which to some extent I have to admit it is, there's also an argument to be made for calling it absolutely brilliant. These two games were released so far from each other that a lot of players wouldn't even know this level was on Mario 64, and those who do know can experience some nostalgia from it. Calling it Throwback Galaxy means it's suddenly a fan service instead of laziness. While this isn't the reason I picked a level for the list, I have to admit it's a really smart move from a PR perspective. Then there's the matter of the same basic stage but with a whole new engine, different movesets, power-ups and generally just a different game. Seeing how technology has evolved over the years, transforming this level to fit its needs is a very interesting thing to see. And while the general shape of the level remains the same as all those years ago, the way you play it and the things you find in it have changed quite a lot. For instance, the addition of the Cloud Flower means that you can reach places you couldn't reach before, which in a strange way actually makes this level less linear, since it was one of the more linear levels in Mario 64. The first mission of course is the exact same mission as the first mission in Mario 64, except that once you get to the top of the level you don't just fight a huge womb boss that's there, you actually jump through the planet and fight him on the bottom of the planet. Mechanically nothing really changed, but it's just the idea and the visuals that go with this, making sure to tell you this is not the same thing you played before. So while it might be the same level, it really isn't the same level at all. I only wish that some more of the original missions had made its way back into the remake of this level. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that having 2 or even 3 times as many stars as any other level in the game would be a little bit weird, and that by itself is a good enough reason not to have done it. I still would have liked to get some more of this level though. Space Junk Galaxy, Mario Galaxy. Going from one Galaxy game right into the other. I'll be honest, the main reason I like this Galaxy has to do with just one of its stars. Well, technically I guess it's 3 stars. Anyway, in the first mission called Pool Star Path, when Mario reaches the end of the level, it seems all hope is lost and there's no way to get all 5 silver stars, so you might as well just jump into the endless abyss of space. Then you find out that the platforms only form when you get close, so you'll have to be careful. You can't just go running around hoping a platform will form under you, because you'll probably fall off. Then you come back here later because of a prankster comet, first to speedrun the Pool Star Path mission. Now that you've navigated this almost maze-like place with disappearing and reappearing platforms, you're being tested a little. You have to go through it as quickly as you can to get all the silver stars and make it back to the end before your timer runs out. Then you have to return a 3rd time, this time to collect 100 purple coins. Of course, all within a time limit. And to make it extra fun, the platforms will be different this time. So everything you've learned up until now doing the last 2 missions will be more or less useless, as some of the paths don't lead anywhere useful now, and other paths have been added. The progression this level builds for you is a well-designed difficulty curve, where you first get to practice, then your skills are tested, and then they go above and beyond to make sure the last mission will test both your reaction skills and your adaptability by assuming you have memorized the layout by now. I mean, you must have to complete the 2nd mission. And then they change it up. You could only finish this mission if you were either really good at adapting yourself to this new situation, or if you relearn the layout of this mission. Of course, there's also a boss and a planet shaped like Yoshi, and let's be honest, nobody really cares about either of those. Well, I don't anyway. The missions I just talked about are all very fun and well designed. The other 2 missions remaining are absolutely not fun, hence a low place on this list for the level. World 6, Level 5, Super Mario Bros. 3. The first 2 entries on this list I expect most people to know pretty much right away. This one, however, seems like it may be a little more obscure. This level, and a large portion of this world actually, is almost puzzle based. If you just keep running, you'll soon find out that you're running in circles. This loop allows you to get upgraded from normal Mario to Super Mario and then to Tanuki Mario with the leaf. You need this leaf because somewhere in this level you need to fly up to escape the never-ending loop. This by itself is a fun idea and well executed since it's not easy to get and maintain the leaf power up. Not particularly difficult either, just not easy. Then, when you can fly, you need to build up enough speed, which is pretty tricky since you don't have a lot of flat space to run. And most of it is filled with enemies, which will take away your leaf power up if you get hit just once. This is where the loop comes in. If you lose your leaf power up, you have to go back through the loop and get it again and try to get some more places to fly up. There's a lot of secret places to find here. Most only reward you with a couple of coins, but then, after some searching, you'll find the exits. Turns out, there's enemies at the exit you can't just jump on, so what you have to do now is knock out a Koopa that's walking under this place, make sure you don't allow any other enemies to spawn so you can run and build up speed. At the height of your speed, you pick up the Koopa shell and fly off into the air while holding it. Of course, all quick enough so you can throw it when you get back up to the exit. All before the Koopa returns to normal in your hands and takes away your flying power, which means you'll have to do it all over again. The upside to this all is, well, it's a fun course, but if you know what you're doing, this level will be over very quickly. It's the very definition of what speedrunning is all about. If you're just playing around this level, it'll take a good amount of time. But when you know what you're doing, and you just want to move on with the game, this level will pretty much be the shortest in the game. And rather trivial, all things considered. It's also simple, yet well designed, and that is why I love it. Tick-Tock Clock, Mario 64. This game had to appear somewhere on the list and I had some candidates for this place. First I wanted to place tiny big islands on here. But then when replaying it I noticed it was a great idea in theory. The execution of its missions within the level however are a little lacking. Then my next option was Big Boo's Haunts, but then again, once I replayed it I found myself fighting the same boss 3 different times. Not a lot of fun really. So, Tick-Tock Clock. It will come as no surprise to any of you, but the first thing I'm drawn to in this level is the theme. Mario shrinks down to a very small plumber and enters the clock. Not gonna waste too much time on this, but I like the concept of that, like, a lot. Next up is the level itself. It has a lot of moving parts, turning all over the place. I mean, you're inside a clock after all. The thing is you can influence how fast these things move based on when you enter the level. You see, unlike most levels in this game, Tick-Tock Clock is not hidden behind a painting. Instead you jump into an actual clock. This means not everyone will find it right away, I suppose, but the more interesting thing is that the clock actually moves its hands. When the minute hand is close to the 12, everything will freeze its movements. Nearest to the 3, everything will move slowly, making platforming from and onto moving parts a lot easier. Near the 6, the speed will be random and change regularly. Near the 9, everything will move quickly. This doesn't do much other than help impatient people like myself. As you can probably tell, some missions would lend itself better to some of these situations. The red coin mission for instance is damn near impossible if the parts inside the clock are moving at all, but it's also a mission that relies on the clock hand moving to get you to some places, so you'll have to at least make it move. Aside from all of that though, the platforming in this level is a lot of fun to do and feels really nice when you get it right. It can be a little difficult since it's one of the later levels in the game, and like I said, it's supposed to be more or less a secret one too, but the difficulty in this level is fair, and more importantly, challenging and fun. Metro Kingdom, Mario Odyssey. It may be a leftover hype, because damn Nintendo hyped this world as if their life depended on it. I guess in a way it actually kind of did. This city is larger than you would expect from any Mario game, and at first when I saw its size, I was afraid that it would be way too empty. That seems to be the trend in open world games anyway. But when playing through this world, I found that it's by far the most enjoyable one in the game. The boss fight against the Mecha Wiggler is a lot of fun, jumping from building to building, running around the rooftops of skyscrapers and construction work. It blends so well together with Mario as a game. I had expected to feel some kind of art style clash, since there's normal humans in this world as well. But even that doesn't end up happening. You can even capture some humans, not to walk around as them, but to take over the remote controlled cars for a couple of moons. Then there's the longest 2D section in the game, ending in a reference, well no, it's more than just a reference, to the original Donkey Kong game, the first game Mr. Jumpman Mario ever appeared in, even before he was called Mario. Possibly before he was Italian. It's hard to explain why this world is great. I mean, other than the fact that you can capture a literal manhole cover to open up a part of the world. You just have to experience it. That's not something I like to say in lists like these, but Honestly, I cannot begin to explain how perfect it feels to run around this city. Everything you find has some kind of interaction and works exactly the way you would expect it to. I mean, there's even a rope jumping minigame which rewards you with a moon. You can get on a scooter to drive around the city and cars work like spring platforms to get you higher up into the air. The only way I can even begin to explain this world to you is, imagine a full-blown city turned into a playground for you. Everything is suddenly a toy for your entertainment. The whole game is like this, of course, but the density of content in New Donk City gives it a well-deserved spot on the top of this list. Thanks for watching this top 5 list. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like below this video, and while you're down there, let me know what your favorite Mario level is with a comment, or leave a suggestion for my next countdown. And be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all my new uploads. Until the next time, bye.